Welcome back to life as an Evertonian. Blues, I couldn't come on here yesterday. Um, Too many emotions. I thought I was going to be all right. I thought I was going to be fine. Um, and then the occasion just got just way too much. Um, like, I was getting flashbacks throughout the day. My first game at Goodison, uh, eight 8 years of age against Tottenham in the top balcony. I remember being 8 years of age going into the top balcony. My first game, we drew against Spurs 1-1 and just being frightened to death. Like, oh my God, this is massive. Look how high up I am. How steep the steps were going, making my way to the seat. When I got in my seat, I didn't want to move. I was just getting all these flashbacks of all the occasions, um, going with dad, going with friends, the people that I've met, Evertonians, going to the first game with my son. Um, all these emotions, going to the first game with my wife, my daughter, taking my mum for the first time. The nights, the European nights, Goodison under the lights. Just realizing that, I've been coming here since 1989, 1988. I was born in 1981. It's only ever been Everton. And really just taking me back to being a kid. How much Everton means to me, how much Goodison Park means to me. Being brought up with a dad who, I lost when I was 16. And he used to he always said to me growing up as a kid, Ryan, friendships, relationships, jobs, they all come and go. Remember, you'll always have Everton Football Club. You'll always have football. And I guess you always think you're going to have Goodison Park. And, I remember being so little, like 5, 6, 7, dreaming of going to Goodison Park. We only ever used to see the match of the day. I didn't have Sky Sports when I was so young. It didn't exist. I used to listen to the radio and you envisage what it was going to be like going and, eventually you go and then it becomes your spiritual home. And yeah, Everton's a massive part of my life. It really is. And there's been times where I felt, before I met my wife, when you're going through things, especially with dad leaving that story in my mind, you sometimes feel like that this is all you've got. And when things are hard, and when things haven't been great with Everton, it gets tough. Yesterday, it almost felt like it felt like a funeral. It felt like you were losing. Uh, it felt like I was losing dad again. That's what it felt like. It was that I'm going now. But I couldn't come on here yesterday. I just couldn't. I couldn't give my match analysis. I was watching the game. It's like I weren't watching the game. It's like I wasn't there. Just taking it all in. When I got home, my son, he's poorly. He's got tonsillitis at the minute, so I was making time for my son when I got back. Just collecting myself. And, I took him bowling last night. And I'm just going to share my screen. I give him this. He's been spoiled, but I give him this. I give him this. And this is Big Nev. He's my favourite player ever for Everton. I've met Big Nev. I told him in 1998. I felt like I lost three heroes. My dad passed away in 1998. Neville Southall left Everton, and later on Duncan Ferguson left as well. for Newcastle. Uh, I've put this post in English football in the 1980s. I know it's 1990 shirt, but I had this Everton shirt when I was 9 in 1990, exactly 35 years ago. And yesterday I passed it down to my son on his ninth birthday. Hashtag Everton, hashtag Big Nev, hashtag Neville Southall. We know what it means, Blue Family. I've also posted this in an Everton group as well. But I love this shirt. And when I give it him, I think because he knows how much Everton mean to me, and I'm starting to see how much Everton's starting to mean to him. He were really upset, and I loved it. I love the fact that he were upset. He were like, "But Daddy, it's yours." It's like he almost didn't want to take it from me. This is what it means. This is really what it means. So I'm just going to stop the share. Goodison, listen, it's not getting knocked down for now. It's passed on to the women, and for now, it's a goodbye for now. Although yesterday was, we're not going to play any more fixtures there. We're not going to feel Goodison like that ever again. And we move on. We move on to Bramley Moor and refuse to call it what it's called by the stadium rights. We move to Bramley Moor, and I'm hoping for a. We said, don't we, that the end of an era, and we're hoping for a new era of Everton. It'll always be Everton, but we are hoping for change, and we're hoping for positiveness. I'm so grateful that David Moyes has been the one to come back through this period. It's felt right. Yesterday felt right. Seeing all the different teams that we've had, the players that we've been brought up watching, the team from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and 2000s. And we've got a team now that's fighting. We've got a team, we've got a group of players who are fighting for the place. I think they feel that, there's potentially something massive could happen with this football club now. And new owners, new stadium. Moyes making us strong, more difficult to beat, but also with an attacking sense, and I'm hoping for a massive market. I am. I really am. Listen, I know we're not going to be spending multi-millions, 200 million or anything daft like that. But I'm hoping we can bring in some quality. We've seen with both goalkeepers are going. Ashley Young's played his last game. I think Seamus will get a new deal. Well, David Moyes has pretty much said he is going to do. I hope Garner does as well. Some of the loan players, like Brozier, Jack Harrison, Lindstrom. Be interested to see what happens with Mangala. I think David Moyes liked what he saw of him in that short period of time. Maybe he can come back in on loan after he's recovered from his operation, his injury. But the game itself, we were in control of it. There was no threat at all from Southampton. There really wasn't. And Jai really took his goal well. He took both goals well. I thought Beto was an absolute nuisance all day. There is a player in there. He just needs finely tuning. But there is a serious player in there, and there's no reason why Beto next season can't get us 12 to 13, push to 15 goals. If we can bring in somebody with a little bit of quality, I am an advocate for bringing Richarlison back because I think Richie can do a job on the left as well. Jack can come into a number 10. That's where he picked up his goal yesterday. The game, it was going to be 3 points. it was just a case of how many we could win by. The second half, we just played it safe. We could have been 2 or 3 up. Well, we could have been three up at least in the first half. We went in at the break 2-0 up, and that was it. Game were done. It was about the occasion after that, and it was a difficult occasion, one that we will never forget. In my head, I need to get on a ground tour and say goodbye in a different way than yesterday. We need to pay a visit and watch the ladies. It has to be done. It really does have to be done. I'm going to be doing an end of season review. I've been talking as well with a fellow YouTuber, and that's going to be announced. We're going to do a collaboration together, so I'm really looking forward to that. Touch and go if I can get tickets for Newcastle away. I've got a mate of mine who's trying to pull up a tree and get me a ticket for this weekend. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'll see what happens there. I'll be covering Everton after the Newcastle game. Listen, this is the first season that I've created this channel. Ultimately, at the beginning, I just started talking about Everton after every game. But I plan to build more content in and around Everton in regards to the pre-season and transfers and speculation. And this is what I'm going to be doing going forward. So if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. Click that bell to turn on post notifications, so you'll be notified every time I do an Everton video. What a day. Honestly, I could not come on here last night. I just couldn't do it. I had to allow myself 24 hours. I nearly went at one point then in this video, but I'm not going to do it. Just looking at all the stuff on Instagram, and Everton have just announced that they're going to do. We're going to see a full video on YouTube, and Toffee TV covered some really good content, and there's just lots of images everywhere, lots of videos, the blue smoke, and just Goodison in its glory. We're going to miss you, Goodison Park, but it's a goodbye for now, and we'll see you soon. Blues, we'll see you on the next one.